Hello and welcome back to the Ruby Tuesday. My name is Ruben and today I am reviewing, maybe I can say that word right, reviewing Netflix's original anime film based off the Altered Carbon series. This is Altered Carbon Resleeved. So Altered Carbon Resleeved is a Japanese anime spin-off from the series. Obviously you had the writer who is phenomenal, and I guess Altered Carbon, the first two seasons had mixed responses. I really loved the first season. I thought the second season was okay, just wasn't what I was hoping for. But I have to say I really enjoyed the anime spin-off. One of the things I was most surprised of how much it actually fits into the world. The connections there are surprises that I wasn't expecting to see. The animation itself I think is going to take some getting used to. I know a lot of people don't enjoy this type of shell shading with 3D rendering that it can look a bit weird and it takes a few minutes to get into it, but when the action sequences kick off, you can see where it works really well. The writer of this anime film is the writer from the Cowboy Bebop series and Ghost in the Shell standalone complex, and it really does feel like a Ghost in the Shell and in places, and the music feels very reminiscent of films like anime films like Akira, and so it really sets the tone and the pace of something that kind of is really atmospheric and lends itself to anime but is still in the world of this Altered Carbon world universe. I really like the new adventure. It feels separate, but it also feels apart, which I think was quite an interesting balance to balance, to keep all your characters and have them work inside this story, but also keep it part of the Takeshi Kovacs story, and I think that's been very well handled. As I mentioned, I touched on before, there's action sequences here that are displayed very visually, quite gory, very well put together because you get to see what happens for the most part. There are wide shots, close-ups, the music heightens the sense of tension, and so when you feel or when you see someone get hit and smacked in the face and you see the blood explode, it'll slow down with a certain action piece, and a ninja will spin around. It's very well put together, and I think the score as well is particularly heightens the sense of the tone that they're trying to go for. Most of the film takes place in a hotel though. There's one kind of major action set piece that's before the hotel, and then for the majority they're in this hotel run by Yakuza, and I was hoping to see more of the world because you see a little bit of that at the beginning. It's very vibrant, very Blade Runner-ish, and I was hoping we were going to explore more of that world. Unfortunately, you are most of the time in this hotel. That's not a bad thing. It feels like a video game. It does set up tropes, actually. You got to, your heroes have to go up level by level by level, and eventually you'll reach that boss level, and then the boss has something else, and you'll be like, this isn't even my ultimate form! And then the boss will form into something else. It does tick all of those tropes, but I think that needs to. It's not that that is a bad thing, it does what you expect it to. So for the majority, you can totally guess where this film is going, but just sit back and enjoy the anime. I watched it in its original language, the Japanese language, I read in subtitles, and that worked for me really well. I forgot I was reading, I was immersed into the storyline. I really like what the story does and who the story gets you to be involved with, who you are rooting for. There is a SeaTac agent and there's Takeshi Kovacs, and they are protecting this girl. So it's definitely a protection story. It's definitely the underdog story. At times you can feel like Kovacs is like all power and superpowered. One of the things that can take away from your story if your hero is too strong and you think, well, there's no real danger to them at all at any point. What I liked was the balancing. So you get to see the skill of the Kovacs and the SeaTac agent, but you also see the strength of the bad guys of the Yakuza and others who will be quite formidable for Kovacs and their team. And when there's like loads of them, you do wonder, okay, how are they going to get out that? And that keeps the tension flowing nicely. All in all, I think it's a solid, entertaining anime movie in this world. I'm hoping for more, and they're hinted at the fact that there may be more adventures. I wouldn't mind a series like this. I think that could really work. An anime, Takeshi Kovacs, one of his other missions that you don't get to see. It feels like this world there's lots of stories to tell within this world, and especially with Kovacs, there's lots of time gaps in between the different sleeves. It works really well. I know some people are going to have issues with the type of animation, After a few minutes, I thought it was fine. It's very vibrant, very entertaining. I'm going to give this an A-. Thanks so much for watching this review, but most of all, until next time, remember, live long and Tuesday.